Hey folks, it's Matt once again. Welcome back to another review of the Stallone Marathon, and this time it is Demolition Man. Easily one of my favorite Stallone movies. Honestly, I think this is one of the best action movies and one of the best science fiction movies of the 90s. I would put it on my list of my favorite sci-fi action films of all time. I really would put it with that amount of praise because I think it deserves it. And this is a very underrated movie because I did not know how much crap this film got until doing research. Because when the film came out, it did not do that well at the box office. I mean, Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes made more money in the US with him and Sean Connery. That made over 60 million, but this film only made like 50 some million in the US. And I'm sure it made some money foreign wise and VHS wise, but considering they put video games, action figures, and all sorts of stuff into this film did not do that well, especially in the US. And nowadays, a lot of people crap on it, and I am dumbfounded as to why. I've read certain websites and certain reviews, and granted, it's their opinion. At the end of the day, it is their opinion. I just very much disagree. Whether it be Red Letter Media on YouTube or other YouTube reviewers or reading a website like Den of Geek. And I'm thinking, well, you gave Independence Day 2 4 out of 5 stars, but yet you're saying the action in this is boring and low energy? But yet Independence Day 2 is 4 out of 5 star material? I don't get it. I mean, I'm not going to I just don't get it. That's really the end of the day. At the end of the day, you can like whatever you like, dislike whatever you dislike, be an individual, and that's fine. But I watched this film, and I'm thinking, I have no problems with this movie. This is I would say an amazing film. It's very funny, and it's satirical, and that's what, when critics kind of praise it, that's what they like. They like the PC future. And it's a very funny future. It's very unique. It's very different. Just a lot of times the future is very dark and dirty and grimy, or is very technological heavy, but maybe the same as our modern world. But the fact that everyone's talking in full, weird kind of eccentric sentences, using full names, saying stuff like, "What appears to be your bottle?" So Wesley, "My bottle." Using the 3 seashells, being very PC, the fact that you cannot curse or you get fined, and that's a future we're probably heading nowadays, considering everything's so damn PC. I mean, isn't that a thing with YouTube where if you're a YouTube partner, you're not supposed to curse or something, or otherwise you get in trouble, or you don't have ads anymore, the revenue, or something of that nature? Something going on with that? I'm like, well, fuck. I wonder when the 3 seashells are going to come in. I wonder when we're get fined for cursing. You ball breaking, duck fucking pain in the ass. But people will give credit to the satire, but they say, well, it's too bad it's put into a dumb action movie with these 2 guys just fighting each other. And I'm like, I don't get that. It's a great action movie with these 2 guys fighting each other. And people don't give credit to the action. They say it's boring. They say it's low energy. They say it's not much to it. And I'm thinking, I love the action scenes in this. I love the opening with such a fantastic explosion at the beginning. One of the best explosions when that whole building goes to high heaven and hell. Probably has to be one of the biggest practical explosions in the film, and it's all done for real, no CGI enhancement on that explosion. I love the action scene, the cryogenic prison at the end, and the fight between these 2. I love the shootout in the museum, the car chase where you have the old car, and Stallone gets on top of Wesley's car, and then he gets in that car, throws Wesley out. Break! Break, you Mickey Mouse piece of shit! And the foam goes over him. I can't help it. I love this movie so much. I think it's a fantastic film. And yeah, it has very witty, funny satire. And It's very funny on purpose. It has a great mix of action and humor. But people who complain about the action, that's your opinion, but I 100% disagree with you. And that's what makes the film fun. That's what makes the film entertaining. And I just this can have all the bad reviews it gets. I don't give a shit. I'm still gonna love this film to the 12th power. And I'm going to do some defending on the film because it fucking deserves it. I think Elliot Goldenthal does a great job on the score. Yeah, it kind of sounds like he took some of the stuff and then put it later in Batman Forever. But I think he did a great job. He did this right after Alien 3. And I think the score fit the film very well. I like the song by Steen at the end. Demolition Man. I think there was a song that Grace Jones or someone else sang long ago, and then Steen did a new version of that. I love that new version. I think the cast is fantastic. Sylvester Stallone, I think, does a great job as John Spartan. I feel sorry for the character because he got fucked over badly and put into this cryo prison, being frozen. And then when he comes out, his humor is natural. I like the dialogue exchange between him and the newer cops in that age. They're very PC and very chipper and don't know a lick about violence. Wesley Snipes, he's such a lot of fun as Simon Phoenix. He's entertaining, he's funny, he does great physical wise. I love the look of the blonde hair, which I think Dennis Rodman stole after seeing this movie. I think what I understand, Wesley Snipes hated it, and after he like shaved his head or something, I think it was a great look for him. I don't know if he shaved his head, but the rumor is he hated it, the haircut. I thought it would look great. Sandra Bullock, I know Lori Petty was first cast, but she had a disagreement with Joel Silver, the producer. And I like Lori Petty, but I love Sandra Bullock even more. Sandra Bullock is one of my favorite actresses. In fact, some days I think she is my favorite actress. And this is before she was in the movie Speed, which was 1994, and this was 1993. And by the way, this was a great year for Stallone because he had Cliffhanger in the summer and this in October or such, which maybe that's why it didn't do well because it's a weird release date for this kind of movie. But yeah, it was 1993, and Sandra Bullock in 1994 did the movie Speed, and that really catapulted her career. Nigel Hawthorne, I know apparently he didn't like these two guys. I guess because he was an upper actor. But he did find Dennis Leary is Edgar Friendly. I know there's an interview where Dennis Leary said this was a piece of shit. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dennis Leary. That's not one of the 18 fucking Ice Age movies you've done, or whatever the hell many there are, voicing a fucking saber-toothed tiger, or whatever the fuck you played. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not 2F by C with Sandra Bullock, or whatever the hell other movies you did. I guess if you voiced a fucking saber-toothed tiger in the film, you'd be okay with it. I mean, it's his opinion, but I just think he's full of FOSS, aka full of shit syndrome. Marco Brambilla directed this, and he hasn't directed that many movies. I think he did one called Excess Baggage with Alicia Silverstone and Benicio del Toro. Not too many, and that's too bad because he did a great job with this. I would have been very curious to see him work on more action films. But I think because this film didn't do blockbuster status, that probably fucked him over. And the features, there's nothing on there. There's a very boring commentary of Marco Brambilla and producer Joel Silver, and there's a trailer. Even though there's many deleted scenes that are heard of. For example, there's this stuff with Stallone's daughter, where we actually see his daughter. His daughter is with Dennis Leary's group. That was all cut out. There's a fight scene between Stallone and Jesse Ventura. Hell, which they even advertise on WCW, because Jesse Ventura was with WCW at the time, and they're interviewed. You can probably find that on YouTube. They're interviewed together, but the fight scene's not even in the movie. There's one scene where they're having this battle, and then they're on this bridge, and it goes like from here to here, and Sly and Wesley are hanging from the bridge. And I remember that still shot and a lot of publicity photos, and they're hanging there, and that's cut out. I know there's another character an older guy with a beard that was with Stallone, Sandra Bullock and such. He was by a car, and Simon Phoenix went up and killed him, and then took the car. And he was like an old friend of Sly's. That was cut out. I wish we could see those deleted scenes. I wish we could see interviews. Because I would think Wesley and Sly are proud of this movie. At least I hope so. They should be proud of it. Because I think the action scenes are very well done. The pacing goes by very fast. It's very funny on purpose. It has a lot of great ideas. The cast, Benjamin Bratt, who would work with Sandra Bullock on Miss Congeniality, he actually does a decent job. The one guy from Beetlejuice, I forgot his name, but he's the guy who's worked with Nigel Hawthorne. Again, I forgot his name. But yeah, the music by Elliot Goldenthal works. I love the song by Sting at the end, Demolition Man. To me, everything about this film works. I'm gushing like a fanboy, but I am a fanboy of this. I think it deserves a lot more praise, a lot more kudos, a lot more thumbs up than it gets. It really is, to me, one of the best science fiction movies. Period. And especially sci-fi action. And I love Terminator and I like Terminator 2. I love Terminator. I'll say I like this more. And Terminator to me is a classic. I like this even more. Yes, I like this more than Terminator 2. I know every single person will disagree with me. I don't hate Terminator 2. I like Terminator 2. But if I'm reaching for a movie to get, I would rather watch this. And that's nothing against Terminator 2 Judgment Day. It's a good movie. But at least that gets his praise. This doesn't get the praise, and it definitely didn't get the box office. It definitely didn't get the respect. And even just watching between the two, I love this movie more. I really do. I love the setup at the beginning in 1996. And if people make fun of that, remember, Escape from New York takes place in 1997, but no one makes fun of that, and that's a great movie, but no one makes fun of that. Or maybe they do, and I just didn't hear it. But it takes place in LA in kind of the near future when this was released. I love Stallone's character, John Spartan. I love the little beret that he has, which he brought back for the Expendables films. I love the line. I love a lot of the dialogue in this. I think it's very well written. Like when he says, "Send a maniac to catch a maniac," and does this fantastic bungee jump. Phoenix! Lets it go, and some really well done shots like Stallone jumping in slow-mo, poo, 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 popping people, shooting bad guys left and right, going in, beating up Wesley Snipes guys, smacking people in the face, putting their head through a windows, going up against Simon Phoenix. Wesley Snipes is having a ball. Is it cold in here? Or is it just me? Before that, shit. And you're trespassing. Come on. Light your ass in gasoline. And then they get in a little scuffle while a fire breaks out. And Sly's looking for these hostages. And Wesley goes, I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. And then Sly goes, I'll keep that in mind. And of course, that's a great sort of moment to think about later in the film when the way Wesley Snipes gets knocked off, which I thought was a great death for a villain. I mean, being frozen, getting your head knocked off, and then exploding in slow-mo on the floor. I think that's a great death for a villain. I love it. A very well done effect as well. Very well done. And speaking of effects, when he got Wesley Snipes, he's running out of the building, and that amazing explosion. Fantastic explosion. And he's talking with the captain who we've seen in Lethal Weapon. All the Lethal Weapon films is the guy who's Mel Gibson, Danny Glover's captain in those movies. He also had a very quick appearance in Predator 2. He's talking about, I'm tired of this Demolition Man shit. And Sly goes, well, I did a thermal counter. There was no hostages there. Wesley says he's full of shit. And then the fireman comes up and says there's bodies everywhere. And you find out later on in the film that Wesley fucked Sly over because he had already killed the hostages. That's why the thermal didn't work. And so he did that to fuck over Stallone. So it shows how much of an asshole and crazy Wesley Snipes is. And Wesley just has a lot of charisma and fun as the villain. Not a lot of villains. So many, I mean, I enjoy a lot of Marvel films. I do. I said that. But you look at Marvel films, and, other, even like Fast and Furious movies, you look at a lot of those villains, and these are films that get praised by critics, and I've liked a lot of them, mind you. So that's where I'm coming from. Those villains don't match up to Simon Phoenix. I mean, the closest is maybe James Spader in Age of Ultron, but still, Simon Phoenix is fucking Simon Phoenix. But this did shit. Maybe if they were wearing costumes, like superheroes, maybe they're more credit. I don't know, that's not fair. And again, this is coming from a guy that has enjoyed a lot of comic book movies of late. I enjoyed Ant-Man. I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy. I enjoyed Captain America, Civil War, and Winter Soldier, and Avengers Age of Ultron, which that's another movie that gets a lot of shit nowadays. But even despite all that, I love Demolition Man even more. If the Marvel films are here, Demolition Man's like right here. Because these are my comic book movies. These are my action films. And I love the idea of the cryo prison. And I know Stallone said it was a very dangerous stunt where he has to go underwater. I love the way they did how he gets frozen. And then they make replicas of Stallone. It's very well detailed practical effects. It's like, wow, it looks really photorealistic of Sly being frozen in that. And it cuts to the future, 2032. And I love this future. It's a very fun, and it shows how the total opposite can be a bad thing as well. How, yeah, we don't want it violent. We don't want it grimy. We don't want it dangerous. But this is the danger of going the full other end of the spectrum. That the best thing is in the middle. If you go the full end of the spectrum, this is what you get. And I like the Sandra Bullock's character. She's very big fan of the 90s. The only enemy in this world is Dennis Leary, who's not really an enemy. He does some graffiti. But him and the people who live in the sewers, they just want a bite to eat. But Nigel Hawthorne as Dr. Kato, he doesn't like that, so he wants him eliminated because he wants a perfect order. Or as Wesley Snipes call him, an evil doctor, evil Mr. Rogers. And why does this film get shit on? I don't get it. Boring, uninteresting. They don't like that it's an action movie? Really? Guess they don't like that all these other Fast and Furious and Marvel movies are action movies either, huh? Oh wait, they do, because they get critical praise and a hell lot more box office. And I know it sounds like, well, why are you picking on those movies? Because those are the popular action movies of today. That's the only thing I could give an example on. And again, this comes from a guy that has liked many of those films. Hell, I liked the last Fast and Furious movie that came out recently. But it still doesn't hold a candle to this. But yet this gets shoved to the side and put down the toilet. It blows my fucking mind out of my fucking ass. Very fun satire of a PC age, of how there's no touching, cursing is outlawed, you get a fine, people talking in very particular words of dialogue, terminology. When people talk, they say their very full names, first and last name. No one has any balls. No one has any cojones. Rob Schneider, a role that I actually don't hate him in. When Wesley Snipes is kicking ass and he goes, "We're police officers. We're not trained to deal with this kind of violence." It's a great script, and the action scenes to me amplify it and make it even better. So it's not just a boring, pretentious bullshit. This is entertaining, kick-ass, badass, fun. Like when Wesley escapes and he's killing these people expertly, taking them out one by one, takes out this guy's eyeball to get out of there. And then the cops find out with murder, death, kill, and they're wondering what to do. Wesley, I love this scene where he goes to this little booth and he's typing. It's like, damn, I'm possessed. And he's talking to the computer, come on, Hal, where's the goddamn guns? And he did a citation. What? Fuck you. There's another citation. Cops come. Fuckers are fast, too. Just another citation. And just kicks these cops' ass. And these cops don't know what the hell they're doing. And then that's what makes it unique. And dare I say original. You're having a cop not knowing how to do it. Not know what the fuck he's doing. So he has to have a little manual that tosses him going, how to subdue a maniac. Demand maniac to lie down. Add the words or else. And Wesley fucks these guys up like nothing. Even to the one guy where Wesley's going like, and the guy puts his things up. And when the guy punches Wesley, the guy stops. And then Wesley kicks his ass like, stupid. Simon says, stay! Blows up a car and they don't know what the hell to do. And then a guy who knew Sly back in the day, he goes, there's one guy who can do it, the Demolition Man. John Spartan. He took him down in the past. I love the little footage they show of some of his past arrests. Like a reporter being pissed at, this girl's, what was it, her ransom was only $25,000, but, or something like that, but the building that was blown up cost more. And the little girl goes, fuck you, lady. And Sly goes, good answer. And then they unfreeze John Spartan. I think Stallone does a wonderful job. He's a guy who's out of his element. He's a fish out of water. It plays very well. And I buy his reactions. This is kind of how I would be feeling. You can't be cursing. Are you shitting me? Just another citation. Trying to explain how the 3 seashells work. Because he was asking, you don't have any toilet paper. Well, you gotta use the 3 seashells. And he's like, oh, really? And he goes to that citation like, thanks a lot, you shit brain, butt face, ball break, dud fucking pain in the ass. So much for the 3 seashells. I love this. I think that's pretty fucking funny. That's hilarious to me. And just how Sly reacts, like when the warden, I said that because he's the warden in the Shawshank Redemption. Bob Gunton, who's like the captain, he talks about how there was a little device implanted in his hand, and Sly goes, why don't you just shove a leash up my ass? Or when the Bob Gunton is talking to the computer, and Sly goes, I hate to interrupt you 2 lovebirds, but that was really fucking stupid. I love Sly in this. I think it's one of his best roles as John Spartan. And him and Wesley Snipes, they have great chemistry as hero and villain. And people want to knock the action bits, but keep the satire. To me, keep both bits, because both bits are what make this a fucking classic, in my opinion. I'm thinking about it. I know people don't give me shit because I said I like this more than Terminator 2. Even though I said I like Terminator 2, they're still going to go, oh, but that automatically means you hate it. I said I like Terminator 2. But you said you like Demolition Man more. Yes, I do. I do very much so. Stallone is my favorite action star and actor. And I love the future aspect of this. I love the everything about this film. For example, I love the fact that the commercials of the future on the radio, the oldies are commercials like Armour hot dogs. Armor Hot Dog songs. And I thought that was pretty funny. And Sly's reaction, "You put me back in the fridge." I love Wesley Snipes' reactions. Like he's trying to get to these guns in his museum, he punches. It's like, "Motherfucker!" And that's where the guy asks, "What appears to be your bargle?" "My bargle? How much do you weigh?" He just flips the fucking guy. And then we go back to Stallone, where they're trying to go in the museum, and Benjamin Bratt's using this thing, and Sly's like, "No, no, no. He, Luke Skywalker, used the Force. What's this? It's a glow rod. Does it work?" Tests it on a guy. "Guess so. You guys stay in here." And I love the battle in the museum. I think it's a great back and forth, where Stallone gets a shotgun, shooting at Wesley with a shotgun. Wesley Snipes has a machine gun. Stallone shoots the thing in the air and the ceiling that crashes through the glass floor. So Wesley falls down, but then Wesley shoots the glass, so Sly falls down. It's a great back and forth for shooting each other. Wesley has this little like laser gun thing that charges up and shoots at Sly. And Wesley's beating up Sly, but then Sly gets this thing, "You're on TV," beats the fuck out of Simon. And it's a great back and forth. It's not one-sided. It's not shitty editing. It's not convoluted editing to the point disjointed. You don't understand what's going on. I think it's well edited. I think the director did a great job. So I don't get what people's problem are with the action scenes. I do not get that one iota, one bit. And once Wesley's getting the upper hand, then Sly gets an upper hand and gets on the car. You're going to die, Spartan. You forgot to say Simon Says. Shots the shit out of him. But then Wesley gets his gun, tries to shoot Sly. I think it's cute. I love Sandra Bullock, favorite actress of mine, like I said before. I love how she's trying to say some one-liners and fucks up. "You really matched his meat. You really licked his ass. Met his match and tit his ass." Or when she says, "Why don't you take this job and you shovel it?" Or, "Let's go blow this guy." Sly goes, "Away! Blow this guy away!" I'm laughing thinking about it. I mean, I love this movie. It's so underrated. It's not even funny. Well, I guess it is. I'm laughing at myself because I kind of have to. I know it's just a movie, and at the end of the day, when people shit on movies like this, it's because, here's what it is, before I go any further. Movies like this, that do not get the respect, that do not get the love that I think they deserve, and then they don't do game busters at the box office, then they stop making movies like that. And people ask, well, why don't they make good action movies anymore? Some people ask, not all, some people. Because when they do, people shit on them and they don't do well, and people to this day say it's cheesy or it's corny, or they make fun of it. Or it's a good idea but bad execution, or oh, it was a good premise but it became a dumb action movie. Or that's why you don't have these kind of movies nowadays. Movies like this get shit on. Movies like this get shit on. Movies like this get shit on. And they were not $100 million blockbusters and huge gargantuan hits, and critics took a shit on them and call them dumb. Because yeah, every comic book movie is genius. No, I do not like some of them. And the thing that kills me, that like the Fast and Furious movies, as much as I like a lot of them, a lot of the recent ones have gotten critical praise. And I'm thinking, you don't praise that, but you don't shit on this. And again, I repeat this like the 15th time. I repeat myself because people don't have this thing called hearing. I like a lot of those films. But why are they getting the pass while this got an ass called a fart out of critics assholes. I don't. It doesn't get the respect. I don't get it. Someone can explain to me. I guess I'm just too stupid, too dumb. Someone explain it to me. Yeah, a very fun, fast-paced, kick-ass action movie with great satire elements. Very funny on purpose. Awesome hero, awesome bad guy that has charisma, that's memorable. A great good guy that can kick ass, take names, and be humorous. Great supporting cast. Dennis Lee, you can call this a piece of shit all you want. I still think you did a great job in the film. I love your rants about how you want to run around with, naked with jello on yourself and reading Playboy magazines, and you want high cholesterol and all the rants you did. I love Sandra Bullock in this. But again, I think that's why I get so passionate about it, because I love these kind of movies. I would love to see more of these kind of movies. But the reason they're not going to make them is that A, these films didn't do that well, and B, people looked at these and they made fun of them. And they talked shit about them. I could barely find any reviews on YouTube that gave this big kudos. Except my friend Mike OCP and another friend of mine, Fabio. There's like two of the only people I found that gave this good, honest reviews. And again, if you don't like the film, to each their own. That's your opinion. But that's why this is me defending it. So much people want to shit on it. I think it's time for some people to start defending it as well, because I don't think it deserves the bad rap. And I think that's the thing, is that, you know, I watching this Stallone marathon, so many films that got trashed, like, you know, this film, or even without, not the Stallone marathon, like this film that got trashed. And I'm like, I'll take these any day over a lot of the stuff coming out nowadays. And hell, this year has been good. I love John Wick 2. I like Kong Skull Island. I liked Logan. I liked, you know, Get Out, and even the last Fast and Furious movie. But you still will not see movies like this, because the general public doesn't want them. But anyway, enough. Sorry, I got on a tangent there. I apologize for that. But I know another thing people make fun of is the Taco Bell thing, but that was part of the joke. Part of the joke was that of all the franchises that lasted, it was Taco Bell. It was so offbeat and weird that, and yeah, I know they had a tie-in, but in reality, everyone knows that McDonald's would win the corporate wars. But Taco Bell is such an offbeat choice that it's kind of funny. Because you think, well, and I know overseas it was Pizza Hut. That would have been funny if they showed something like Arby's, or like what the fuck, Arby's, or trying to like Long John Silver's or something, or maybe something even more like Hardee's. People are like, what the fuck is Hardee's? It's kind of like Arby's, Hardee's, but here in the Midwest. That'd be even more. God, what's the word I'm thinking of? Fucking. Oh, another thing I liked is the fact that Schwarzenegger has a presidential library. And of course, Schwarzenegger later on would get into politics, and which I think fucked up his career, because when he came back, none of his movies did well. And you could tell a lot of people did not like Schwarzenegger after that. I still love Schwarzenegger. I mean, he fucked up personally. I know, cheating on his wife. I don't condone that at all. I still love the guy's movies, and he does seem like a very nice guy. He fucked up, you know, we all fucked up. Just fucked up sometimes, as a man says it. But I still love a lot of his movies. One day I want to do a Schwarzenegger marathon, because I love stuff like The Running Man, Predator, Commando, Eraser, love Jingle All the Way, a lot of other stuff. But anyway, getting back to this, I think there's some actual good little drama scenes too. One Stone's talking about how he was in this 36-year nightmare, being frozen, and nightmare of people burning in the building, those hostages, his wife beating on a block of ice. and he couldn't do anything. Because when you're frozen, you could still have memories, you still think. And he even says, you know, it'd be more humane to stake me and leave me to the fucking crows. And then later on, you have a little fight outside the restaurant where I love the line Stallone says, regret this the rest of your life. Both seconds of it. You have some nice fighting, but you realize that they just want food. And actually, one of the guys who are with Dennis Leary is Jack Black. I shit you not. Later on in the sewer, when they have the guns on Sly, and Sly goes, Cocteau is an asshole! And he pushes a gun down. The gun he pushes down belongs to Jack Black. I'm like, holy shit, that's Jack Black. But yeah, him and Sandra Bullock go back and she offers sex. And I don't blame Sly for saying yes, but it's actually virtual sex. Which, you know, Sly's like, come on, why can't we do it for real? And Sandra gets appalled by that. This film also, not only was Schwarzenegger going into politics and some other stuff like GPS, they kind of, before that became a thing, they kind of predicted of GPS. Also, Skype chat. I mean, there's a woman that comes up with her tits hanging out, which is pretty much a video chat, like Google Plus or something. I mean, or Skype video chat, whatever you want to call it, which you can do nowadays. You can chat with someone on your phone, and that happens, and you get a nice pair of titties. Nothing wrong with that. Miss that. It's R-rated for a good reason. Stallone realizes that when he was under the ice, he was kind of programmed to be a seamstress. He's like, great, I'm Betsy fucking Ross. And he goes to meet Dr. Cocteau, the cockhead, who you find out Nigel Hawthorne's character released Simon Phoenix on purpose to hunt down Dennis Leary, to take out Dennis Leary, so that they'll have no more criminals and he can put his perfect order. Because he can control Wesley. Wesley can't kill him because of the programming. And Sly calls him on it. And Nigel Hawthorne pretty much goes, well, I'm going to put you back in the freezer. Be well. And Sly goes, be fucked. I love that. I mean, Sly doesn't get to do that too much. If you think about it in his movies, he doesn't get to let loose on that kind of dialogue. Usually it's very, like Rambo is not much. If you think about John Rambo, doesn't talk like that. Except Rambo 3 when he's like, fuck him. But not too much. Or Rambo 4 when he's like, fuck the world. Like Cliffhanger doesn't really talk like that too much, except maybe keep your arms raised in the vehicles at all times. But he just to do that, let loose here, and I love it. Probably one of the films that uses the F word the most, now that I think about it. But he decides to go down the sewers. He's talking about how he's going to find Phoenix. I don't put him in the Hurt Locker. Goes in the sewer. They find these guys. He buys his burger and beer, and he finds out the burger is a rat burger. I like the fact that even after he finds out, he keeps eating it. Because the typical thing would be he puked it up or throw it away. I like the idea that he keeps eating it. Like he says, the best burger he's had in years, and he finishes it. So I like that little teeny bit of thing. Sometimes it's the tiny things that make me smile. And Dennis Leary just come out and have his rants. Phoenix comes in, tries to kill him. And this is a scene where you would have Stallone's daughter, who's grown up and is with Dennis Leary's group. Because during the shootout, you see Stallone covering a woman and protecting her. That's his daughter, John Spartan's daughter. And then at the end of the film, before he kisses Sandra Bullock, he's supposed to have a scene with the woman who's his daughter, who's by Dennis Leary. And that was cut out. I don't know why that was cut out. I would like to at least see deleted scenes. At least see it separately, but Warner Brothers are fucking assholes to the highest order. Also, I love to see the scene in that where Wesley and Sly are on that bridge and then it topples over and they're both hanging there. I love to see what the whole scene. What did they fight while they were hanging off? Were they trying to kick each other, punch each other? I don't know. Again, that still is, you can find that online. Wish there was, I mean, people always mention Scream Factory. I wish there was another company that would do to action films what Scream Factory does with horror films and really dig deep and take the time to try to find stuff on this and other stuff. Hell, there are interviews on fucking YouTube from back in the day on Demolition Man. I would love to see a new retrospective documentary with Sly and with Wesley and Sandra Bullock and Marco Brambilla. You'd even have Joel Fat Fuck Silver in there for all I care. Get Elliot Goldenthal. Get Jesse Ventura. Well, he's not busy talking about conspiracies. He can talk about Demolition Man and why his fight scene was cut out. I'd like to know where that fight scene was. Was it uh, when I'm guessing it's before Sly went to the cryo prison? I'm guessing. Man, I don't know where. Again, I don't know where that fight was with him and Jesse Ventura. Where it would have been in the movie. But you have a car chase where Sly and Sandra Bullock are in this classic car and they're chasing Wesley. Gets on top of the car, fights with Wesley. That's where Wesley admits that he fucked Sly over and the hostages were already dead. So Sly was innocent all along. And Sly tries to break the car and it doesn't work. He's like, break you Mickey Mouse piece of shit. Great stunt. The car flying off, hitting this glass, flipping over. Great stunt. Love it. Love the angle they showed of that. All the foam, protective foam. Which I'm like, that's an interesting idea. That if you didn't crash this foam that protects you. I don't know how you don't suffocate, but I like that idea. I really do. I mean, there's a lot of good ideas in this movie. I think they're accomplished very well. When they release another, Wesley Snipes gets Jesse Ventura to shoot Dr. Cocteau after calling him an evil Mr. Rogers. Sly and Sandra get to the cryo prison and they fight some guys. I'm guessing this is probably where Jesse Ventura would fight Stallone. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention is I know Stallone. The original idea behind the film was that it was going to be Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal. But I guess Van Damme wanted to be the good guy, and then they asked if Seagal wanted to be the bad guy, and Seagal said no. Granted, it would have been interesting, but Seagal's not going to do that, ever. Unless he kills himself. Like Machete. I'll do it, but Van Damme can't kill me. I will stab myself. Like in Machete. Machete. But yeah, this movie... Love the action scenes. Love the fight with Sly at the end. Jumping out, two guns a-blazing. Wesley getting this big claw and clamping on Sly and dragging him around. And Sly, this epic showdown. Sly's trying to get out of it. Tears the scene off. Freezes it. Smashes it. And then Sly's like, Wesley's like, I'll be goddamn. And Sly thinks like he's got away, but he's on this block of ice, and Wesley hits his button, and it slams down and hits Sly, fucks up his back, and then Wesley gets this weird, I don't know what the hell it is, this electrical device thing, gun, whatever the hell, and tries this electrical laser beam lightning thing, and Sly's running from it and dodges out of the way, and then they have this fun fist fight, which I think some of that fight was cut down, which is bullshit. I think Sly like shot Wesley, something of that nature that was cut out. And very well done fight, fun fight. And a great comeuppance for the bad guy, freezing the bad guy, jumping on that claw thing that's going around, heads up, knocking the frozen Simon Phoenix's head off, and smashing to the ground in a million pieces in slow-mo. And he gets out, and that great run-in while everything's exploding. And this explosion behind him. And I love, during that scene, I especially love Elliot Goldenthal's music. And then at the end, everything's sort of all right. And kisses Sandra Bullock. And the last line, how does that damn three seashell thing work? And you get the end credits by Sting. Demolition Man. I love this movie. I mean, I've been gushing about it for 45 minutes for a reason. I think it's highly underrated. It has a great sense of satire of the future and how PC, being 100% PC is not the best thing either. It would be a pretty horrible thing as well. Very interesting take on the future. Again, dare I say, original take, mixed with great action set pieces, mixed with well done. The editing, who did the editing of this? For some reason, I want to say Stuart Bayard. Yeah, I thought he did a good job editing the film. The score fits the film like a glove. Marco Brambilla, man, this is probably the only action film he did. He did a great job with this, and shame he didn't go on to do too much. I think the script works very well. It's funny, it's exciting, never boring, goes at a very fast pace, and I just love this film to death. I think it's a great action movie. It's a great sci-fi film, very underrated, and easily one of the best flicks of the 90s, in my opinion. That's how much I love Demolition Man. It's a great flick. It's a joy to watch this again, and it deserves a lot more than it's gotten, in my opinion. So thanks for watching. Take care, and be careful of those three seashells. Later.